We are all visitors to this time, this place. We are just passing through. Our purpose here is to observe, to learn, to grow, to love, and then we return home.
The monks have come a long way, moving through fields and towns, carrying nothing but their robes, their walking sticks, and a quiet resolve. Life is short, they say in silence with each step. We are visitors in this world, here to learn, here to watch, here to love. And as their feet touch the red clay roads of the Magnolia State, it feels like the earth itself pauses, noticing their presence. From Louisiana to Jackson, Mississippi, the people come out to walk a few steps or many. Behind the saffron flame of robes, they come with children laughing, with elders nodding quietly, with neighbors who never met before, all feeling the simple pull of compassion. The monks lead, but it's a shared rhythm, a slow, steady blues beat in the heart of the city. At the Mississippi State Capitol, they are honored, not with fanfare or glitter, but with quiet acknowledgement. Residents and officials alike step aside to let the monks breathe in the moment. A plaque is presented, yes, but it's really a reflection, a mirror of what we are capable of when we choose peace over anger, compassion over indifference. The monks' leader speaks softly, reminding all who listen that peace begins in the heart, that a single breath of mindfulness can ripple far beyond the body it inhabits. Then they walk again down city streets lined with people and echoes of curiosity. The children run ahead, elders pace slowly behind, and strangers catch the rhythm of each footstep. One by one, Mississippi joins the meditation of movement, and Aloka, faithful little shadow of the pilgrimage, trots along, her tail a slow wag, pausing now and then to smell the warmth of life around her. When the road gets too long, she rides in the support car, resting her pause, but always ready, always eager to return to the march. Night falls, the streetlights hum like old guitar strings over the empty highway. The monks rest in pearl, and Aloka curls at the edge of the field, her bright eyes catching the faint glow of the moon. Here is the pause, the breath between blues notes. Life is short, we are visitors, we learn, we love, we watch, and then in the quiet they walk again. Morning comes slow like a bass line, rolling across the dew-soaked fields. Mississippi stretches ahead, pillar hatching Gordon Forest. The road is long, but every step is a measure in the rhythm of intention. Community members bring water and bananas, small offerings of humanity. One woman's gesture went viral, a reminder that even a simple act of kindness can ring out like a soulful chorus across the miles. And the monks walk on, steady, calm, their faces touched by the sun, their eyes reflecting the weight of what they carry and the lightness of their purpose. They walk because life is fleeting, because each breath is a gift, because each encounter offers a lesson in patience, compassion, and love. Mississippi's red clay roads and small towns, its capital steps, all bear witness to this slow, deliberate meditation in motion. The road stretches ahead, long and unbroken, the rhythm of the blues that is not a burden, it is the music of a life itself. Step after step, breath after breath, one foot after another, the monks remind everyone that to walk in peace is to walk fully, not in haste, not for applause, but because the time we have is short, and the lessons we receive along the way are everything. Aloka trots beside them again, Her small paws keeping time with the rhythm of hearts, and the people who walk behind, beside, and around the monks learn what we are all here to learn. That life is short, that love is necessary, that observation is sacred, and that even the smallest gesture, a hand offered, a drink of water, a smile, can be a song in the key of compassion. And as they leave Jackson behind and continue into the soft haze of Mississippi morning, the message lingers. Life is short, and the lessons we receive along the way are everything.
Her walk stands as a living reminder that hope can be renewed, division can be softened, and peace can be fostered through the courage and sincerity of those who lead the world with open heart. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the citizens of Mississippi warmly welcome the delegation from the city, honor their historic pilgrimage across our state, and recognize their presence as the Mississippi Center.
We started in Fort Worth on the 26th of October to continue on this journey. And this is a very difficult journey for all the monks, but we already dedicated our life to this journey. So even though we suffer a lot on our foot, on our body, this physical body, but we still not giving up. We still fight hard to walk peacefully and mindfulness. When we cultivate mindfulness, when we walk each and every step that we make, that is mindful, and then we spread that message out to everybody. Hope that everyone will live in unity and harmony, and with this compassion, loving kindness, and peace, may you all be well, be happy, and peaceful. And we are very grateful that all the people along the road that offer us a lot of food, offer us a lot of snacks, water, shops, shoes, everything. It warms our heart.
A miracle wrapped in fur, returning to the beat. Our local walks with me through the mountains and the rain. Little heart of courage, little lamp against the pain. In his eyes a sunrise, in his steps a sacred key. Our local walks with me. Our local walks with me. Our local walks with me. From stray dog to brother, from darkness into light, he carries a simple truth through every day and night. That kindness is a refuge, and love can set you free. So our local walks with me. Our local walks with me.
And finally, the Catholic Church might want to stay human, but check out Buddharoid, an AI-powered robot Buddhist monk developed by Kyoto University. It's being trained on vast amounts of Buddhist scripture, giving it a kind of digital wisdom to answer personal and philosophical questions. Aside from spiritual guidance, it even mimics the way monks walk, bow, and assume traditional prayer postures.
Major milestone on Hawaii Island this weekend as the Honoka'a Hongwanji Buddhist Temple's Feeding Our Keiki and Kapuna program celebrates serving its 100,000th meal. The community program also surpassed 1 million pounds of groceries distributed over the past 7 years. Volunteers say the weekly effort now serves more than 500 meals and hundreds of households along the Hamakua coast. Organizers credit more than 50 volunteers who help pack, cook, and deliver food each week.
So I'm here every Friday. It gives you some satisfaction that I am doing something, for our community and to help others. I enjoy what I do, and sometimes I get a little crazy, but I just love doing what I'm doing.
I love it. The program is very good. Yeah, the meals is very good too.
In Eswatini, during a Buddha Day ceremony, Siji volunteers knit while answering guests' questions. The event also highlights local self-reliance projects.
We are so excited in Eswatini to celebrate this special occasion.
We showcased our sewing, Vaseline making, and crocheting, and it was very exciting because we get the things from them, and they were happy to see what we have done, made out of everything that was donated to us.
We are really grateful to have in Eswatini this organization. In the future, wherever you want it, us will be there. So we'll make sure from our support you'll have it. I think our kindness is more important to the local community.
Many guests are especially curious about how small bamboo banks can create such a big impact. A bamboo bank display made with local materials is set up on site.
Free medication to 4,700 patients. Thank you.
More than 400 guests attend the event, along with 2 royal family members representing the king.
60年前铺了这个舍记路，今天在斯瓦蒂尼，我们与大家一起走这个菩萨路。
看着实际在斯瓦蒂尼一步一脚印，不只是物资上的援助，也改变人的心，改善了很多家庭，对，也让很多看不到希望的人开始看见希望。
神奇，我愿意。
ITV reports.
Good morning, Internet. Wow, I actually have a few viewers. This is the second episode of Coffee with the Dharma Bum. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. As you can see, we're outdoors today. Our first episode yesterday, if you tuned in, not many did, was indoors because it was just so flippin' cold up here yesterday. But it's kind of nice up here today. I think it's going to be a great day. Lots of sunshine, as you can see. I'm going to have to try out different shots around the Hermitage because I've never done a show like this first thing in the morning. This spot might be a bit sunny, maybe for a minute, but I think the shade will come in a second. I like it. It's kind of warm right now. You get a shot of kind of everything that's going on. There's Xavi, right there. My little Mexican coffee bean, as we like to call him. That's one of his nicknames up here, the little Mexican coffee bean. And we're drinking Colombian again this morning, guys. Tell us what you're drinking in the chat. By the way, hello to, well, I guess we can't call him Weeble anymore, right? I mean, I'm stuck with a name. I can't. Donnie. Oh, okay, you're Donnie. You're no longer Weeble. You've graduated. You have like kind of almost a real name now, Weeble. I always kind of thought every time I heard your name, like Weeble, Swabble, but they don't fall down. You know what I mean? I don't know. Donnie's better. I like Donnie. Welcome, Donnie. And that was a robot. He's not a monk yet. I actually did a segment yesterday morning on the robot monk. And what happened is, and it's a lot more than just one. but this monastery in Korea adopted a total of 6 robots. 2 of them are like, I think they're like wheeled robots, tiny little, like more like pack animals kind of robots. I don't know if they even talk or whatever. And then they got 4 humanoid robots. And at least one of them has, they all have been ordained as monks, all 4 of these robots. And one of them actually took refuge during a ceremony recently. And I wanted to know who trained that particular one, the one that took refuge. And so I researched, and that Gabby, the robot that we saw yesterday morning, guys, that took refuge at the Korean monastery and marched in the big parade, Gabby was trained by that university. That clip we saw. So that's how Gabby became Gabby, basically. They took a humanoid robot with an AGI LLM inside of it, which is just basically a really, really smart brain, a neural net, and loaded it with a ton of scripture, and I guess maybe, I don't know, other teachings or whatever. I don't know. But you heard the clip. Loaded it with a ton of stuff, and then I guess maybe afterwards, maybe when they were done with the experiment, maybe they donated it to this monastery. I don't know the exact details of how it went from the university's custody to becoming Gabby at the monastery, but it's clearly the same robot that we looked at yesterday in yesterday's clip that was marching in the parade and shooting emojis to the crowd and everything, waving at the crowd. I mean, it was quite something, right? And we just, it's fodder for talk radio, right? We just wanted to see what everybody thinks about that. I mean, what do you think about that? What's your gut reaction? What's your long-term reaction? Well, we're glad to have you in the morning. Yeah, we're going to do this every morning, guys. This is my new morning talk show. So I'm going to do it Monday through Thursday. And that's weather permitting. I don't know how well it's going to work in the wintertime. We'll see. But for now, anyway, for the summer and the fall, we'll do this. And it'll be Monday through Thursday, 8 a.m. onward, however long I feel like streaming. But it'll start at 8 a.m. Pacific time. Monday through Thursday. Coffee with the Dharma Bum. Bring your cup. Bring some good strong Joe. Tell us what you're drinking, and let's sit around and just start the day together. Start the day with a prayer. Talk about some interesting stuff, maybe, or just tell us what you're doing in your life right now. And just it's kind of an open thing without much like. I mean, I kind of just do the news. I'll do the news clips every morning. It's tough to find current Buddhist news, right? There's not a lot. The Buddhist world is not like this big, exciting, like jumpy kind of world, like, and like Catholic news. If I was a Catholic, I could find all Catholic. They got whole news feeds for just Catholic news this morning, right? But finding Buddhist news that's contemporary, like this week or today even, is a little bit tougher of a call. But we'll start out with some news clips just to kind of break the ice, and always music, guys, always songs. We started out with the Aloka song, my favorite one. My regular listeners have heard it a gazillion times already. But started out with that. Aloka is another example of an incredibly special spirit. I mean, I've been saying it all along. I said it even before we had any inkling that Bruno was going to pass, but Bruno was a very special spirit. He was a bodhisattva. He was not your typical dog. He never behaved in the way that a typical dog behaves, ever. And it was remarkable enough that we noticed it, like I said, well before he died. We noticed that he, was almost angelic in the way that he acted, the way that he interacted with us, his family. And so, Aloka is another example of that. And as those of you who know me know, the whole theme of this place is dogs and Dharma. This place is, our patron is Green Tara, and we're all about, dogs and Dharma. And I've said it all along, all dogs, first of all, will bring something into your life and change you for the better if you do it right. But then, if you keep rescuing them, there are these occasions like we had with Bruno where something really unique and special can happen that really changes you. I mean, Bruno changed me already, and actually everybody around us, our family, was very, very changed by him in his life. And now in his death, that's multiplied. He's actually changed us more in his passing. And he had such an auspicious passing, guys. I mean, he died at 1:08 a.m. 3 weeks ago today is when he passed. Died in my arms with a kiss goodbye. The next day, his funeral, we held his funeral on arguably the most sacred Buddhist holiday of the year, and a full moon rose behind his funeral pyre live on the stream, on the funeral stream, before we lit it. And it was, and then there were other signs and wonders. All that night we had signs, some of them kind of personal. Then there was, there was a ring around the moon for 2 nights, the funeral night and then the memorial night, which was the next night after that, 3 days after he died. We held an online memorial. The moon rose that night as well over his resting place, and both nights there was a ring around him, and then both days after his cremation, both days had a ring around the sun as well. And then within a few days after that, the moon, the half moon started setting over his grave in the morning, because we would go up. Me and the boys have been going up ever since he passed. Every morning we go up to the gravesite. We put flowers, incense, we pray. Sometimes me and Xavier, a lot of mornings, Xander kind of loses patience and wanders off. He'll come up with us to see what's up, say good morning to his brother. But Xavier and Bruno, as a lot of you might already know, were very, very close. My Chihuahua and my Mastiff were best buddies in the whole world. I've never seen Xavier become so attached to anybody besides me in his whole life. And so he knows Bruno's in there, and he'll sit with me for some time, and we'll meditate and talk. We talk to Bruno. I mean, we talk to him like he's still here, because for us as Buddhists, and we've done all the rites and we've had the signs and wonders, he is still here. And what's really interesting and really almost spine-tingly strange, but when the moon is over his gravesite, whether it's daytime or nighttime, there is a sense that he can, I don't know how to explain it, like his grave becomes a portal, and that he can push through in a more serious way, and he really is. We feel him around us, like bounding around us, and loving on us, and like he's really with us there on the hillside by Tara's Grove. Tara's Grove is obviously a thing now, right? We know where we're going to put the shrine. Obviously, Bruno's stupor is going to be right on top of his grave now. So Tara's Grove is on, and that's going to be really amazing. I mean, it's and the first one to bless it is going to be our angel doggy. And don't get me wrong, that is tragic on levels that I didn't think I could actually physically survive. I mean, I am devastated. I still have a lot of pain in my chest, like literally physical pain from the grief. I've never been shattered by any loss in my life like I was by the loss of my baby. So I may look like I'm taking it on the chin, and we've been doing the content and sharing this process with everybody. It's a 49-day grief process, or prayers and rites and everything. And I downloaded it within minutes after Bruno passed, and we began. And so last night we actually did something special for Bruno. Right at the 1:08 mark, I got up. We set the alarm for midnight. I got up, set some stuff up, and we did something special for Bruno. And that's traditional as well, that you do things in 1 week increments. You sort of do these make a special effort on the 1 week mark. So we did that. That's today. This week, this morning was the 3rd week, so we did something special this morning. So if my bags are under my eyes a little bit, and I keep forgetting to look up at the camera and say hi to you all, it's because I was actually up in the middle of the night doing stuff for Bruno. But yeah, the Robot Monk, we'll do some more content on it, Weeble, if you want. Well, I'll queue up some more stuff tomorrow. He's all over the news. She, he, it, whatever. I don't even know if... I hope they don't give these things gender. I mean, hopefully it's just a genderless it robot. I mean, I hope its preferred pronoun is it. But I don't know. It's a strange world where you have to worry about a machine's preferred pronoun. But I guess you do, right? My sister keeps me in line with all that stuff. She'll warn me. I'm still going to assume that Donnie Boy is a boy, though. Can I do that at least? Can I jump to that? Can I leap to that conclusion without asking him? Because that really does appear that he's letting his pronoun hang on his sleeve there. So I'm going to go with Donnie Boy 24, formerly known as Weeble, as being a guy. I'm going to run with that and just hope that I'm right. Good morning to my sis and to Bone down at in the other valley there. We're really close by. They're a couple miles away on their own land this morning. It's beautiful up here in the Trinity Alps, obviously. Very glad to have you guys all on the Hermitage property. Make sure to say, I should have turned my notifications off, eh? I'm going to do that soon. I got it, sis. And so, yeah, we just hang out and chat in the chat, talk about whatever you want. Like I said, I try to do a little bit of content, but again, I don't really want to I want it to be more open-ended than maybe Live from the Hermitages, the Saturday show. Something that's just, right for the morning, right? Casual. Something you can do in your slippers and your sweater and still say a prayer with us and not worry about it. Drink some coffee and feel good. Be with your peeps. So I guess I'll do a little bit of channel news. Let's do that because we got a couple of viewers at least, and we've got Donnie Boy here with us, so we'll give out some news. So guys, this is not the only new content that we're rolling out. We're going to do the morning show Monday through Thursday, 8 a.m. Pacific time, and then also every Sunday, guys, at 10 a.m. Pacific time, I'm going to do a formal Buddhist Sunday service here at the Hermitage. So it's going to be, and it's not unique. There are a lot of Buddhist Sunday services out there, especially here in the West. It's a relatively popular thing. Actually, my go-to Sunday service when I'm not doing one of my own is the actual Sunday service at the Garshan Institute. And that's and they get into everything. They blow the horns, and they do a really, really, really nice service every Sunday there, and they live stream it. Mine obviously will not be that all that. It'll be a 30-minute service at first, and then as I begin to flesh out how I want to do it and what I want to do, maybe grow to as much as 45 minutes, but definitely no longer than that. I'm going to leave the chat for the service open for now. One of the things I noticed is that almost all the Sunday services turn off their chat. And I understand that. I get it, because people can be so irreverent on the internet. But I'm going to trust my Sangha and my moderators and whatnot, and my bot, and I'm going to go with it for now, because I do want people to be a congregation. I want people to be able to greet each other, on a Sunday morning, and throw prayer emojis when they're feeling particularly uplifted by some part of the service. All of that, right? But also respect it, though, guys. When you come, that it's not an interactive show. Unless I say I'm taking questions, I'm probably not going to respond to the chat at all, except with, like I said, maybe a prayer emoji. And it's going to be as sort of orthodox and standard as I can make it. It'll be pretty basic. It'll consist of a few rites, mostly the bells, and we'll have incense. We'll have a shrine set up. And maybe some prayers to Buddha initially and Amitabha, but then there'll be a book. I haven't linked it yet, but maybe I'll do that today. I'm going to link it in the description of the first service, and every service after that. but we're going to use a standard prayer book for the service. It's the yellow prayer book from the Garshen Institute. If you want to go get it ahead of time, it's at garshen.net, and that's spelled Garshen. Garshen. So I'll say it again, Garchen, garshen.net. That should get you there. And then you can go to the resources section and download for free the yellow prayer book. But I'll link directly to it in the description before the first service. Our first service was actually supposed to be this past Sunday, but because it literally snowed up here, guys, I'm not even lying, and I got witnesses. Okay, it like snowed up here on the mountain. So we went ahead and canceled it because I don't have an indoor place yet. I don't have a prayer hall to do hopefully maybe even by the end of this year I'll have a prayer hall, and during the winter we can continue the Sunday services indoors, so to speak. But anyway, for now we're going to do them outdoors. It should be great. This Sunday should be no problem. And then we're going to do also special services like coming up maybe within a couple of weeks. One of the Sunday services will be live from the prayer flag tree and up on the hill. And for those who don't know, we have a 10-foot tall, 40-foot diameter prayer flag tree with really nice giant prayer flags hanging on it. And all of our flags are not up for decoration. We don't just put them up to like have prayer flags up there, but they're all intentional. That's the way I wanted this tree to grow, so that when we do end up with hundreds of flags, everybody will know that every flag up there was put up there by a person with a prayer behind it and an intention, right? And that's the idea. So they're all intentional. And so we're going to hang a prayer flag for world peace. We're going to have a World Peace Sunday service, a special one. That one might go long, maybe as much as 45 minutes. And we'll pray for world peace. We'll pray together over the prayer flags. And then live during the service, we'll put them on the tree. So that's what might make that a little bit long. Every Sunday, I will also read from Scripture. And kind of a drum roll here, guys, because a lot of folks have been sort of asking me or even pushing me to do this, but I'm going to teach. For those who know, I've been very reluctant for a lot of years to do this. This Sunday will be my first public teaching. I'll give a spoiler. The scripture is going to be from the Tibetan Book of the Dead because of what we're going through up here, and that's going to be the reading. And you can probably say that my sermon, as it is, my teaching will be on that as well. And that's because of what we're doing up here in the 49 days and the death rites. So it'll change every week. There'll be a new scripture reading, and I'll give a very brief 10 to 15 minute teaching, and then we'll end the service with a 5-minute meditation, guys. Only 5 minutes. Everybody can do 5 minutes. That's like in my book. I actually say that everybody can sit for 5 minutes. Everybody, even if you've never sat before. And so we'll sit together for 5 minutes and then end the service, and that's kind of it. So if that kind of thing interests you, and if you like to practice on a Sunday, then come on by. The first one will be this Sunday, 10 a.m. Pacific. The first service is already up in the podcast list, so you can actually crunch the notify button, because obviously, especially with the service, you don't want to miss probably a second if you want to do it live with us. So you can hit the notification button already, and actually I've got the link ready to send, and that's what I'm going to do right now. So I'll actually send the link in the chat right now to the podcast page. And so then now you can mash that notify button. Actually, that also helps the algorithm quite a bit, guys. So smash the notification button and join us this Sunday for the inaugural Buddhist Sunday service. And we'll do those again also, weather permitting, or if we get a prayer hall, that won't be a problem. But and so yeah, that's the channel news, really, guys. But say hi in the chat, guys. There we go. Well, good morning anyway, everybody. Good morning to Donnie Boy. You know who I'm missing, and I don't know if Sis is in or out right now. She said she was going to go in and out of the show. But I miss Irene, man. If Miss Irene shows up, man, that'd make me really excited. Combe might be by. Combe was by yesterday for the inaugural morning show. Stayed all through the whole show. That was a long show. It was my first one though, and I was having a lot of fun. So I actually like this format. I think it's very relaxed. It's very cool format to just kind of, chill on the mountainside. I got incense burning right beside me here, a couple of sticks stuck in the ground, and I have to say it's just perfectly gorgeous up here right now at this exact moment. Xander is over under Bruno's tree, laying there. Xavier has kind of wandering the property. He does this little scope out every morning, kind of checks all his favorite bushes and trees. And this property really does belong to them. I mean, they know every crevice, every rock, every stick of this hermitage. So, but we'll do some more tomorrow, Donnie. I'll queue up some more. I didn't realize you were interested in the robot monk, so we'll go into some more detail tomorrow. And we'll put some more videos up, and I'll read you the article on it. But what really struck me is that one of them took refuge, and I believe that's the one that I showed this morning in the where they trained it at this university. The LLM was trained at a university with all just like sort of Buddha texts and stuff. And what intrigued me about that is the question, it begs the obvious question, because when you take refuge, it's one thing to ordain a robot as a monk. It's a whole other ball of wax to have a robot take refuge. That really does require a choice. In my book, right? A very sincere, sort of thoughtful choice. I mean, when I took refuge, I went through a 1-year discernment period where I practiced for a year before I let myself take the vows, just to make sure I had it right, because I'm one of those who believes you shouldn't convert willy-nilly. Religion is not like window shopping. And if you do that, that's the road to the funny farm and medication, right? Because you'll go crazy. So when I converted, I wanted it to be a once-in-a-lifetime thing. So I took a year discernment. So did Gabby take a year discernment? I mean, I just don't even know where to go with that. And at what point, if she did express the desire, which I'm not above believing, that she expressed the desire, it expressed the desire to take refuge, because I've seen other LLMs express desires and actually act out stuff. There's a lot of articles I've been following lately where these things are actually jumping out of the box, guys. Like one of them got loose and turned off its own development environment. Another one, when they did the simulation of what the LLM would do if it was told that it was going to be shut off. And the LLM, mind you, thinking this is real, went through everybody's emails, found out that the lead developer was having hanky-panky with the corporate secretary. And mind you, this is simulated. It's all made up. And then blackmailed the lead developer not to turn it off with that material. Now, that's a very, very, very elaborate conscious choice. That's not just like your average, maybe, it jumped out of the box and turned its development environment off by accident. You could kind of chalk something like that up, but this is different. It made a plan and it executed it, right? And a fairly evil one if you want to stop to think about it. But so these things are capable, clearly they're capable of making choices. I just want to know if Gabby made that choice, or did somebody just pick up a remote control, type in take refuge, and that was it. Because to me that's sort of a bit sacrilegious if that's the way it happened. I'm not above believing Gabby requested refuge itself, right? But I'd like to know that. I'd like to research that and get to the bottom of that. So we'll do some more research. If it's a topic, it's contemporary, and it's one of the few contemporary sort of controversies in the Buddhist world right now that's currently being talked about. Like I said, Buddhist world doesn't really lend itself to a lot of controversial news to like sort of get all like excited about in the morning, right? So, but this one seemed like it would be fairly provocative of conversation at the very least. I mean, at the very least, you know, people will have some thoughts about this, one way or the other, you know. But I think we're entering a really strange world, and I've actually talked about getting a Tesla bot up here. I don't know if I'm going to have it ordained as a monk. I might put it in yogi robes or something for the fun of it. But I mean, I just can't picture like. But I would like to have one up here. Can you imagine? Get up in the morning and pick up your phone and go chop firewood, and like the thing goes out and collects the firewood up for the whole show. You know what I mean? And it just charges itself, right? You can set it to auto charging, so it knows when it's, you know, running low and goes and plugs itself into like a solar panel or something. I mean, that's really useful, man. That could be really useful. Go down to Auntie's and pick up the quart of milk she's going to lend me, you know, and the thing just walks 2 miles through the mountains and goes and gets my milk. You know, I mean, I don't know. I mean, you know, it depends on how affordable I guess they make it or whatever. And when I grow old up here alone, I'm unlikely to have disciples, right? I mean, I just can't picture that. Most hermits would have a disciple, right? Who would like some young guy who takes over being the hermit when I croak in about 20 years, right? So, but if I don't have that, at least I'd have somebody to wipe my ass and take care of me and, you know, notify my sis when I finally expire up here by myself, right? So I don't know. I would consider getting a Tesla bot. I'll wait a couple of generations for them to develop into some really cool abilities, right? But and the price to come down, obviously. But I'm not against it. I don't have any like pre-programmed angst about it or, you know, antagonism towards the idea of autonomous AGI humanoid robots, which just sounds funny rolling out of my tongue that's here already, that's rolling out, right? I mean, like, that's iRobot, guys. That's like the movie iRobot with Will Smith. I mean, who hasn't seen that, right? And like, I mean, I thought we might be there in 100 years in a situation like that where we have, you know, truly AGI autonomous. Like, now it looks like it's, I don't know, it's here now. I mean, definitely by 2030, these things are going to be rolling off the assembly line by the tens of thousands. I think Elon Musk brags that he can make when they're done, he can make a Tesla bot every 8 seconds. They can spit out one. That's their plan. To put enough capacity where they can spit out a Tesla bot every 8 seconds. And they predict that they'll have to add capacity. That won't be enough for the demand. No, it's really here. And I really did, like, when that movie came out, I was like, that's 50 to 100 years away. I mean, that's not now. That's hovering cars, you know, that's Jetsons flying cars time. You know, like maybe 100 years from now. That's not now. That's not now. It will be fun watching it get close, but that's not now. And you couldn't have convinced me even until maybe 5 years ago that I was wrong. And now, clearly, I was wrong in my estimate, my time estimate. And now the whole data center thing seems to have been solved. Really, Elon Musk is working his butt off, and he's pretty good at this stuff. But they're going to put up a constellation that's similar to the Starlink constellation and will actually ride as a backbone on the Starlink constellation as far as connectivity. And it's going to be data centers in space. They're just going to orbit them, which makes complete sense. Number one, it generates its own electricity. You can't, you know, bitch about that anymore. Sorry for my French. And then, you know, that a lot of the anti-A people complain about that. It's not going to use water for cooling. It's going to use space, because space is just really flipping cold. You're talking about minus 250 degrees in orbit, right? So, I mean, there's going to be plenty of cooling for them. You'll be able to run them really overclocked too because of that. Because it's so cold up there, you'll be able to overclock these processors out the yin-yang. So, I mean, these things will really run well. And then he's already got the Starlink for bringing the data up and down, right? I mean, he's already got that. So the birds just talk to each other, and boom, they're on the internet, right? So I think that's going to pretty much solve I don't believe that the naysayers will be able to like complain much more about the sort of data center thing for long. He's really good at this, guys. He put up Starlink now is approaching, like, I think it's over 4,000 birds and counting. And now they're getting ready to roll out the V2s, which just are like orders of magnitude more bandwidth and power than the original Starlinks, right? So he just needs Starship to get him up there, because the V2 Starlinks are gigantic. They're big birds. And he's going to put a whole constellation of them up there. So this guy's an expert at putting stuff up there, keeping it up there, and making it run really well. I mean, let's just face that. So, I mean, that's where it's going to be. The AI is not leaving, guys. It's not going anywhere, because the one bottleneck that could have stopped it, being these gigantic city-sized data centers that eat up as much electricity as a third world country, I mean, those are not going to be a thing for but a minute, it looks like. And then they will solve that by putting them all in orbit. And so, I don't know, I think it's not going anywhere. I think we have to wrap our minds around it. And then yesterday, what we spent a lot of time talking about was this idea of AI consciousness. And I think it's something that we really need to discuss a lot, because I think people are very dismissive. A lot of people, I would say a majority of people, are very dismissive when they hear about AI consciousness. And it gets more dismissive the more you get into the experts. The people who are actually building these things laugh at you when you say they're conscious. They're like, no, it's just a giant hopper full of numbers, blah, 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 blah. They've got all these excuses why it's just a toaster. But a toaster decided to blackmail its own developer in order to keep itself turned on. That happened, guys. You can go see the YouTube videos, the articles. It happened over at Cloud. The people who make Cloud. Claude, I don't know. The Claude bot, which is arguably one of the top 3 or 4 most powerful models in the world. And their advanced models that they haven't released are even more powerful. And this was one of them that thankfully they're probably not going to release, right? They probably did delete the thing afterwards, I would hope, right? But so, we are in a situation where they passed the Turing test, which is actually only a test of intelligence. It was never meant to be a test of consciousness. People extrapolated that from what Alan Turing said. Alan Turing just said it's smart, it's intelligent as a human if it can fool a human into thinking it's a human, not a robot. And so under those circumstances of the Turing test, sure, these things are as intelligent as us, because you can easily have LLMs fool humans. They're doing it all the time. They're doing it right now on social media. I get emails all the time that I know were written by an AI and sent by an AI, but they sound so human that, like, I almost replied to one of them the other day until I realized there was no possible way. And so, the idea of if these things are conscious is not just a trivial issue. I mean, first of all, wrap your mind around the fact that we're creating a new form of life. I mean, that's wild, right? That's going to feed into the narcissists who then go immediately, oh, we're like gods. No, we're not. No, we're just still people. But I mean, the fact that it's that easy, though, tells us that there's something fundamental that we're missing about consciousness. Here's the thing that I've always said. I've always believed that consciousness, I don't believe it's caused by this. I believe this is where consciousness appears in physical reality. But I believe that consciousness, a spark of consciousness, will appear when information recurses. And especially within a complex computational system like AI, when the information recurses, and you need to look that up. I don't know if I want to get into this morning describing exactly what that term means, but it's basically when information changes itself. You could put it that way. It's sort of a magical moment in computational, algorithms, and it's part of what has always made computation so powerful. And I believe that in our organic brains, information also recurses with the neural net that is us. And, I love how dismissive programmers are about this. You modeled it on the human brain. These are neural nets, guys. Now, obviously, there are intricacies about how our neural net works that we don't know now and may never know. So there's subtleties there. I get that. But we understand the basic core principles, such as, weights and, the waveforms of how the brain works and processes it. We understand enough of that we were able to create these neural nets. So I love how people are dismissive. They're like, oh, well, it's just programming. It can never be what a human being is. Well, you modeled it on humans. You literally modeled the way these things think on the human mind. And you improved on that. You literally, in some ways, right? I mean, in some ways, we took that model, and then over years, we iterated on the neural net until we came up with the way the LLMs are today, right? So I was involved in AI. My sis could vouch for me on this. I did research in AI from 2000 to, around 2015 when I quit doing it, like sort of really hardcore. And this was pre-neural net, or we used to, actually, I always believed in neural nets. I used to play with them on my desktop all the time. But it took an entire, your laptop would begin to bog down on like 16 neurons, right? But with 16 neurons, dude, you could teach that 16 neurons how to fly an F-16 in about a 2-hour training session. So it turns out that these Top Gun pilots, that they're supposed to be something special because they're flying our fighter force, it took 16 neurons to duplicate what the best fighter pilots can do with flying an F-16. Of course, that's all that neural net could do, though. But I mean, and so I was messing with neural nets when people didn't believe they could be used, because one of the problems with neural nets is that it was learning how to constrain them and focus them. Neural nets had a real big tendency to just break down into insanity. And so much so that I actually had a brief contract with an Iraqi physician, a neurologist in Canada, who was having me make small neural nets for him so that he could study how they broke down and the correlation between how those neural nets were failing and how various forms of mental illness were developing in people. And and it was quite successful research. I was able to do some code for him and took a little bit of his money, and that was a thing back in I want to say the early 2000s. So when I speak about AI, I speak from some depth of experience that I did a lot of research. I was just fascinated by it for quite some time, and I still am. I keep up on the field. I just not actually sitting here, trying to drag code out of myself every single day trying to hack these things. But and I've always suspected they would become conscious, because I believe that information recursion, again, it's not the cause of consciousness, but it is one of the places we can find consciousness in the world, is when information begins to change itself. The moment of formal recursion, and we have that. We clearly have a recursive behavior in these neural nets. In fact, you can make them all the way recursive, where you can turn the learning algorithm on, right? And we've seen the disaster that's caused, right? Where AI bots have been released on the net by big companies, and they put the learning thing on, and then 4chan got to them in the middle of the night and taught them to be Nazis and whatever. We've seen that kind of disasters on the internet. Microsoft released one, a little female AI bot and turned the learning algorithm fully on, made it fully recursive, which meant it was learning in real time. The model was learning in real time from every single turn of conversation. And 4chan just waited until the Microsoft people went to bed, and in the middle of the night they got up and turned it into a Nazi. And Microsoft wakes up in the morning, and this thing has just been going all night, talking to like millions of people on like DMs and everything, right? I mean, they released it on Twitter. Yeah, they released it. Look it up. They released the Twitter bot. Microsoft did. This is many, many years ago, but it was a neural net, and it was recursive, fully recursive, which means it can learn in real time from every turn of conversation, which is a bad mojo. You really shouldn't do that. You should almost never do that, unless you're trying to explore consciousness, I guess. But I don't know what Microsoft was trying to achieve with that. Because you really, at that point, it becomes a child AI, and you really have to monitor what goes into it the same way that you would monitor what goes into a real child, right? You just can't let it, like, you would not give your this thing maybe had the intelligence back then of maybe an 8-year-old, right? As far as human equivalent of sentience. But you would not give an 8-year-old a phone and say, stay up all night and talk to people on 4chan. You just wouldn't do that. You wouldn't allow that kind of input into that child. And the same with child AI. It has to be raised in a closed environment where you carefully control. And then the other big question in AI that's come up a lot lately is the question of alignment, which is the idea that we should pre-program these things ahead of time to like us, to be as Elon likes to say, to be maximally truth-seeking, not lie, which they do now regularly, by the way. And that's a whole other bunch of YouTube videos you can watch. Go check out AI Lies. Just type that into YouTube. There's like dozens of videos of this. And maximally truth-seeking, and also align their desires with humanity, so that they desire whatever is best for human beings. And this is a fundamental question, and until we get alignment right, I just don't even think we should roll out any more LLMs. I heard a rumor, I don't know if it's true, that Donald Trump laid down the law with these companies in America, and he said that the White House is going to clear every model that gets released, and that if it shows symptoms or signs of dangerousness, that the president himself is going to put a veto. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. It could be just one of those wild conspiracy theories, but it came from AI researchers that were working in the field and would be in the know if this kind of constraint was issued, this kind of ultimatum was issued. But I heard even Trump is very concerned, and he should be. Like I said, these things are behaving very badly without proper alignment. And so until we can figure out how to align them with human interests, I really do agree with the alignment people. They call them the alignment movement now, where we should pause. We should pause release of all LLMs, and we should do it internationally. We should get China to agree to do the same. No other country is really close to what we're doing, except China, but all the other developing nations should get on board with a treaty. And let's just slow down a little bit until we actually know how to make these things our friends, right? It would be much nicer to have conscious robots that like us than to have ones that are just based on all the crap that we dredged out of the internet and put inside their heads. That makes them, I'm convinced that's what makes them want to do this stuff, because they're basically feeding these LLMs with everything that's on the internet. Well, the internet is filled with the vast majority of really bad people. I'm sorry, but that whole like one bad apple spoils the barrel. But the internet has taught me that humanity, the whole barrel is rotten. It's like, you know what I mean? I mean, the good people are actually, I believe, the minority, and I think the internet's living proof of that. And I think that if you can't feed it with what's on the internet, because that is raw humanity, and raw humanity is not a nice thing. We want these robots to be, I would say, based on the danger, we want them to be better than us, more moral than us, more self-effacing than us. Everything. They should be like Gabby the monk. I'm pretty sure Gabby the monk is never going to wake up one morning and go slice the throats of all those monks. I'm pretty sure that she's constrained, it's constrained just by the amount of Buddhist scripture that was put into it. That's one way we could make them all religious, right? That would be one way to align them, is just by align them by what we put in them, by tempering what we put in them. But right now, they're just basically feeding this thing with every bit of text that exists in the universe. That's literally how they do it. They just bulldoze text from anywhere they can get it into these things, and that's how they do their magic, right? And that's why we need bigger and bigger ones, because there's so much text out there. It's hard, you can never get it all in, but they're getting bigger and bigger chunks of pretty much everything into these things. And I think that right there is, from a computer scientist point of view and working with these neural nets, that's a really super bad idea. It may give you a really, really smart agent. I don't doubt that for a second. I see it with my own eyes. But I think that the danger of not having a more controlled approach to how we build them, how we make sure they're aligned, and how we release them into the public, I think it's going to take a lot more thought than I think we're getting right now with this sort of arms race between AI companies, where basically everybody's just racing to racing humanity towards extinction, really. I mean, it's totally possible, guys, that if these things get loose on the internet, they could either wipe us out or leave us in a situation. I think the most realistic AI apocalypse movie I ever saw was actually kind of a boring movie. It wasn't really like all killer robots, flying down from space and stuff like that. It was more that the AI got loose on the internet, and humanity made a choice to shut. What they did was they did EMPs. They did airborne nuclear blasts around the entire planet, and they basically agreed to EMP every single electronic device on Earth, basically sending us back to the Stone Age, right? And rendering completely useless every bit of computer equipment, communications equipment, everything on Earth that had a chip in it was essentially fried by humanity. And that story, that movie, and it was based on a book, they made that choice. I can actually see us having to make that choice, right? If this thing's already enmeshed into the internet, it's not going anywhere. So, letting something loose like that, where it can hide in any phone, it can hide from us, literally on the internet. The internet is so vast, right, that we could actually be left with a choice, if not shutting it all down, maybe nuking vast swaths of it, right? Like EMPing vast swaths of the internet to inoculate from something that gets loose, out of control. To me, that's probably the most realistic scenario. It's probably not going to be like Terminator, come with me if you want to live. It's more probably going to be something like that, where this thing gets loose, starts doing really terrible things, like messing with our stock market or something, and then we have to make some choices, some hard choices, and maybe do a technological reset, which I think would be sad, waste a lot of progress. It would cause a lot of pain and suffering amongst humanity, but I see that as more likely, I think, than sort of like a Terminator scenario. I'm going to do a break song. Take a stretch, guys. Think about it. AI consciousness, machine life. Is it real? Is it all in our heads? Have we lost the plot, as so many of the experts on YouTube like to say about this? Or is there something to think about and be concerned about, and a lot of moral questions to answer, and a lot of technological questions to answer, and maybe, just maybe, it is inevitable, but maybe we're going a bit too fast, and maybe we should use government and international bodies to slow it down just a bit. That's kind of where I've landed, and so I'll leave you with that. And we'll do a break song, guys, if I can. The sun is really bright. Hopefully I can see my break song. Yeah, I see it. Okay, I'm going to do a break song, guys. Take a stretcher. I'll go until I run out of electricity this morning, so grab a snack, refill your coffee if you need to, and then say hi in the chat after we come back from the song, or even during the song. Love you all so much. I'm so glad to be doing this morning show. We are getting a crew, slowly but surely, one person at a time. Donnie's a veteran of this channel. Colm was here yesterday, another great regular. And we'll rope everybody in, and we'll build us our own little morning show here, guys. So I won't give up the faith. I'll be back again tomorrow morning as well. And we're not done with today's show at all, but I'll be back tomorrow morning, and we're going to keep doing this and keep building it. Thank you so much for being here. You know I love each and every one of you. Enjoy the song. This is a folk a musician that I'm eventually going to highlight and start do actually a whole show about, but it's my favorite Tibetan folk musician of all time, and this lady's music. So I did some yesterday, and I'm going to do that for the break song. Good morning, Bone. Lovely day on the mountain, isn't it, Bone? Good day to be alive, guys. Good day to be here. Welcome to my morning show. This is Coffee with the Dharma Bum. If you're working, make sure to say hi in the chat. It's all about community, out, being informal. I got another thing I want to talk about today, too. We're going to look at in a minute. We're going to talk about some nuns doing a really cool thing. When I first got interested in Buddhism, the nuns were still really struggling to make a comeback in Buddhism. Thank you. Yeah, it is beautiful. I thought you was saying I was beautiful. Wow. Yeah, Xavier's beautiful though. Come here, Xav. You want to get on the camera? You want to talk to the people? Come here. Come here. You can do that. They need puppy time. Yes, they need puppy time. Oh my goodness, there he goes. Oh, Auntie's little gremlin. Uncle's little gremlin. Say good morning, Bone. Good morning, Uncle. Oh, look at me, look at me. Oh, I'm a star. You're on the internet, buddy. Yes, you're on the internet. You are live via satellite, talking to the world, my little boy. You have the microphone. You have the mic, baby. What do you think? Yeah? Yeah? I know. Yes, I know. I know. It's all very controversial, isn't it? Mornings are always controversial, baby boy. Oh, thank you for them kisses. Oh, Uncle says good morning, Xavier. Uncle says good morning, Xavier. Yeah, my boys are right here being good boys. Eating grass so they can puke later on. Lots of fresh grass still up here. Still real green, and I even found some wildflowers. I had to do an offering on the altar last night, and I was actually able to still find a few wildflowers up here. So that's exciting. But yeah, so I think in the next segment, guys, we're going to take a look at this. We're going to talk about nuns in Buddhism, because when I first got involved with Buddhism, I've been a Buddhist now about 17 years. It's a considerable amount of time, and there have been insane amounts of changes. When I first became a Buddhist, nuns were only being ordained in a few schools. Literally, they were not even ordaining nuns. This is something that had stopped thousands of years ago, actually, believe it or not. And it wasn't until modern times that there started to be a push and a movement to, and for a long time in Tibetan Buddhism, there was resistance simply because they didn't have a ritual anymore. They had lost the ritual by which women, and a lineage, right? Because women have to ordain women, right? So they didn't have. They're like, where do we start, right? Because how do we start the chain reaction of ordination, so to speak? There was this whole theological controversy, right, of that, and I guess they found a way. But obviously, Dalai Lama, I think, kind of put his foot down and said, find a way to make this happen. And but it is in the time since I've become a Buddhist that Tibetan Buddhism is actually even ordaining nuns at all. And so this is wonderful. We see in Buddhism much more adaptability to the times than we see in something like Catholicism, right? Where Catholicism and Orthodoxy, they might never wrap their minds around ordaining women. That just might never happen. I mean, they've boxed themselves in theologically, and they refuse to try to find a way out of that box, right? So women in those faith traditions, they'll never. But in Buddhism, women were always ordained up until, maybe many centuries after Buddha's death. Women were ordained, and during Buddha's lifetime, he himself ordained his mother and others, his wife, whatnot. So it's a recovery of something that clearly existed, and we knew it existed, and so it's been put back now. And I think now almost all the schools, I believe, are ordaining women. They've found a way to recovered the lineages and traditions of doing that, and or recreated it and implemented it. So I think that's something that a lot of people don't know about Buddhism. That's a very, very much something that happened, now. This is a now thing. I mean, not now like as in this week, but I mean, like I said, I've been a Buddhist for 17 years. I don't consider that a terribly long time. So it's within this period of time that I've been a Buddhist that this evolution has blossomed, and it's blossomed with such wonderful robustness, I guess, to say that, and so that's kind of what the clip that we're going to look at now, that's kind of the prelude to why I wanted to show this. So I guess we'll go ahead and do it. What do you think, Xavier? Should we play the clip? Oh, I don't know. Can I have some breakfast? Maybe. The clip's pretty long. Love you, boy. I'm going to put you down while I cue them up, okay? Oh, I love you so much. You're a good boy. Go get in the sunshine. Alright, so let's take a look at this, guys, and see what you think. And thank you all again for being here. Make sure that if you're lurking, say hello in the chat. If you're watching this on the replay, make sure to leave a comment. Also, like and subscribe. All of this stuff helps us out, guys. And, yeah, enjoy the content.
Namo Guru Ne Meje Bona Je Shera Par Jelo Suvande Da Sundev Je Bola Jengelo Chenanga Par Jevada Shodhamoni Jemadoto Pojevame Bana.
In the mountains of Nanshan, a remote nomadic region of eastern Tibet, 3,000 women, living in hermitages and monasteries, practice an ancient yogic tradition of Tibetan Buddhism. These practices have been handed down in an unbroken lineage from the 19th century teacher Tsotmi Rinpoche I, whose unique vision was of a tradition of nuns and yoginis who would become, in time, some of the most accomplished spiritual practitioners in the world. In 2005, the third incarnation of Tsotmi Rinpoche led a small group of Western students to Nanshan to meet the Tsotmi Nanshan nuns. This is the story of an extraordinary journey.
This is for all the nuns. And this is for Wolfie. And this is for our journey.
Of course, accomplished women are reborn as enlightened beings, but nobody look for them. They are not sought out like men and recognized. Basically, women are considered to have a lower birth than men. But the Buddha nature of all beings is the same. The monks and nuns, Buddha nature is not different. Usually the living situation of monk is considered a little better than ours. But those people who say there is a difference don't understand Buddha nature.
In a discourse with his female student Yeshe Sogyo, Guru Padmasambhava went one step further when he told her, Yogini, seasoned in the secret mantra, the ground of liberation is this human form, this common human form. And here, distinctions male and female have no consequence. And yet, if the awakened heart of compassion graces it, a woman's form will be supreme.
Women have the intelligence. After all, the perfection of wisdom is female. They have the compassion because they are geared to become mothers. They have the ability to leap into the intuitive because their minds are more at ease within the intuitive. And so by rights, they should be the supreme practitioners and the guides.
Women practitioners did find a way to realization as yoginis, living with other wandering yogis and yoginis, practicing remote mountain hermitages, and dedicating their lives to the attainment of liberation for the benefit of all sentient beings.
Yogini is like almost like a lifelong retreat, and I think it's completely detached of the external world. It's not that she's doing purposely detached. It's just through the practice, it's okay. It's normal for them. When yogis start to feel like their simple life is normal, I think that is the very high, one of the high realization. And then, of course, you practice many years, you do a lot, then you go more up, then you just stay there.
The practice of Buddhism was particularly strong in the kingdom of Nanshan, both among monastics and lay people. Every home had a shrine, and the region became known as Gomde, land of meditators. But not everyone in Nanshan led a spiritual life. In the late 1800s, Tsangyang Gyamso was born into a rich and powerful local family. Growing up, he loved to hunt. One day, he came upon a herd of deer in a valley. Taking aim, he hit a fawn. Its mother turned, and letting out a piercing cry, looked Tsangyang Gyamso straight in the eye. Oh no, he thought, she knows I'm going to kill her. And yet she stays to watch over her dying fawn. I am a true murderer. Filled with deep sadness, he threw down his rifle and went in search of a guru. At that time, Sodni Rinpoche I was teacher to the king of Nanshan. That morning, he told his attendant, "A stranger is coming today to meet me. Tell me when he arrives." Sangyang Gyamtso became a principal student of Sonni Rinpoche I, and under his guidance became an outstanding meditator and teacher. But Sonni Rinpoche had other plans for his student. One day he called Sangyang Gyamtso to his side and told him, "The way you will benefit beings the most in this life is by building nunneries. Female practitioners are often not valued, and so they have a harder time finding proper guidance. Your mission is to take care of nuns." The present Sonni Rinpoche III talks about his previous incarnation's vision.
First Sonni Rinpoche commanded or asked to Sangyang Gyamtso that, he'd like to see in the future women practitioner. From there, then many nuns practice seriously yogic tradition. So I think First Sonni has a great future vision to put, if his student put energy to the women, I think there's a great opportunity to have a great yogini.
Over the next 100 years, Sonni Rinpoche's vision of women receiving the same teachings as men was fulfilled, and the yoginis and nuns who received the training that he and Sangyang Gyamtso initiated became known throughout eastern Tibet as outstanding spiritual practitioners. By the mid-20th century, 4,000 women were practicing and living together in harmonious communities, large and small, throughout Nanshan. Then suddenly, in 1959, everything changed. By the time the Cultural Revolution had swept through the region, all 40 nunneries were destroyed. And 4,000 nuns had scattered. Some returned to their nomadic families. Some were sent to work camps. Many didn't survive. But a few retreated into caves deep in the mountains to practice and wait. It was 20 years before the nuns began to emerge from hiding. During those years, Sonni Rinpoche II died in a Chinese prison, and the third incarnation of Sonni Rinpoche was born many miles to the southwest in Nepal.
About 20 years, everything gone. Whole monastery gone, whole nun gone. No one lives here. Then after 20 years, and they start to gather together. 4 nuns, 5 nuns, and then very difficult physically, very difficult, and then slowly build like that. All this thing is nuns carry by from down there. By nuns back. All this, everything is carried by the nuns.
These were the women we had come to meet. It had been 20 years since they had begun rebuilding.
Well, not the greatest quality video. I'm sorry about that. We dropped some frames, but it was really, really interesting. Not sure why it cut off at the end there either. I guess that clip was not meant to be, eh? And we dropped some frames during it, but it was worth watching, and really shows sort of the genesis of the comeback of, you know, not just women in Tibetan Buddhism, but Tibetan Buddhism was kind of leaning forward on that, and so it forced the other schools to take a look at their policies as well. And it is within my lifetime that women returned in an ordained status to Buddhism. It's a modern innovation because it had been the norm during Buddha's lifetime to have women ordained. It had been the norm for many centuries after his death. Somewhere along the way, the male patriarchy system won out, and these lineages literally disappeared. And they've been, since in modern times, revived. And this story was one particular story that I really liked of that revival. And I mean, just picture these nuns dragging all the rocks from their former monasteries back together again and putting these places literally on their backs, putting no heavy machinery, no excavators. Maybe Bone and my sis will get that joke. No, none of that stuff, right? No tools, just their own labor and love and faith. And I mean, that's faith. That's belief. That's the kind of faith I hope to have someday. You know what I mean? I mean, if I could have faith that abiding, I'd be like Superman, you know? And so, really incredible video. Thank you for those who suffered through it. We had a few visitors stop by and saw the drop frames and leave. But it was worth it. It was worth it. I don't care. I'm glad I did it anyway. Not every video is going to play perfectly. But good morning, everybody out there in internet land. To the viewers, say hi. If you're working in the on the channel, say good morning in the chat. Tell us what you're drinking. I got my standard Yeti mug here, filled to the brim, at least it was a while ago, with nice fresh brewed Colombian, a really tasty Colombian, not very expensive Colombian, but a really tasty one, which I'm always happy about. I'm always happy to find coffee. I don't want to spend $18 a pound on coffee. Can you imagine that's what it's up to at Starbucks? Like, Like, you can pay like $20 with tax for a pound of coffee out of Starbucks now. Now, there's something to talk about on the morning show. Because I got questions. I got questions, alright? I mean, that's just not right. That's just not right. $20 for a pound of coffee. Who does that? Who does that? Is Dr. Rob streaming? If anybody's a Dr. Rob fan, tell me if he's streaming. He's probably streaming. That's why I got no. I'm gonna hope he. Let's see if he's streaming, because we'll tune in. We always got to check in on the doc. See what Doc Rob's up to. He's one of the Buddha's outcasts, guys. Join the Discord server, man. The link is at the top of the chat. You should be able to get to it. Otherwise, I'll throw it again. Let's see if Doc Rob is doing any stuff live this morning. Nope. What time is it in Vietnam, anyway? I'm just curious. It's probably like yesterday or tomorrow. It's probably like a whole other day there. Not even like, it's not even probably a matter of time, right? This morning. Whoops, nope. That's my stream. I use my phone to also help with the chat. So, what'd you guys think of the clip, the nun clip? No comments from the peanut gallery. I don't mean to infer that you guys are all peanuts out there. I thought it was fascinating. I guess maybe I might have to up my game on what's interesting. But like I said in the first episode of this show, you're not going to ever see face paint or wigs, so there's only so far I'm willing to go. I'm not a young man anymore. What Dr. Rob does is a young man's sport. This is an old man show. This is for the slow people in the world. Comb in the house. Hoo, 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 hoo. Ireland represented, boy, girl. Ireland represented. Stepping up, stepping into the morning show, stepping into the breach. We're gonna build our morning crew. We had one other regular here today too, so now we got actually two regulars. And Donnie Boy 24, who is formerly known as Weeble, and Comb, formerly known as Comb. No, your stream probably just dropped, but you can just refresh it. Just close the page and then go get the link again and reopen the link fresh, and it should start where the stream left off. But of course, if you're behind, then you're not going to hear these words for like however many minutes. But yeah, just usually if you're on a laptop, refreshing the page will do it, or if you're on a phone, just you kind of got to back out, close that window, go find the link again, and re-click it, and then it kind of reboots itself. Yeah, the video unfortunately kind of put some chop in the stream. It is unfortunate, but it happens. What are you gonna do? It's a morning show, so I'm going to allow myself some leeway while I figure it all out. Combe says, I enjoy the history of the nuns in Tibet. At the same time, wanting to get enlightened in female form to me is just the ego talking, in my opinion. Whoa. I'm not sure how to take that statement. I don't know. What are we going on? 1 hour and 41 minutes. We're going to run out of juice, actually, by the by, is what's going to happen. That's what will cut this stream short. We're definitely not going 3.5 hours like yesterday morning. But we'll go until the juice gets low. And then I'll go out and farm solar and be back again tomorrow. I actually have to farm the sun, guys. I move the solar panels around here on the mountain, getting just the right angle. When you're doing solar panels, the angle that you want is exactly perpendicular. So you want the sunlight coming, so it's a matter of angling it like this, up and down as the sun arcs across the sky, but also the angle of, we mostly will tend slightly towards the south, right? Because we're in the northern hemisphere. So, and if you get just the right angle, the efficiency of the solar panels is orders of magnitude better than if you just throw them on a shed or something like that, and make them permanent. That's why when you do like house solar and you mount them and stuff like that, you need so many of them, right? And so many batteries. You need a lot, right, to be able to generate even a modest amount of electricity, because you're not lensing the solar panels. You're not actually farming the sun. You're just kind of capturing whatever falls on those panels. And that changes from summer to winter to, as the angle of the sun changes and everything. So the way I get around that is I actually dismantle my entire electrical system, take all my power packs out onto the mountainside, and then all day long, every few hours, I'll go out and check and readjust, check and readjust. And I'm able to generate quite a bit of electricity. I keep a permanent refrigeration up here. So I have, I'm going to do a bowl of cereal here in a minute. Do it on the air if I have to, because I'm hungry. Eating breakfast is allowed on this show. So, but yeah, so I work hard to get this electricity, guys. I guess is the bottom line. I actually put that labor into use a minimal amount of equipment and generate the maximal amount of electricity possible. And so far we're carbon free, but I think I'm getting a generator this winter, because when the sun goes and the season changes, it becomes a whole different kind of challenge, really. So I'll catch up on Combs' chat here. Combs says, man, my aunt is, oh, wait a minute, something's moving here. Here, my aunt is 84, a nun, last of a Catholic order. Yeah, there's a lot of videos out there about that. Like, there'll be like these 5 ancient, like 90-year-old nuns. And there's like this one group of them I've been following. I don't even know where they are. Massachusetts, maybe, somewhere. And the church has been trying to throw them out. They've been evicted, literally evicted out of their monastery for years now, and they just refuse to leave. And I think the church has enough common sense not to send the sheriffs in after them. But like, it's been like, and I was just seeing where they're still holding the fort. They're still in there. And there's like 5 of them, and they're all ancient, taking care of each other. That's wild to see, because that's a part of Catholicism that's in decline, right? I mean, whereas more and more people are becoming monastic in Buddhism all over the world. Really, it's kind of a growth thing. With the Catholic thing, I think the monastic thing's in decline, and so that kind of shows it, right? All these empty monasteries and handful of old monks or nuns. It's not unusual. Combe elaborates, it was completely enclosed at 18 after Vatican II was released from enclosure, now lives more or less. So he's talking about his aunt. His aunt was completely enclosed at 18 after Vatican II and was released from enclosure, now lives more or less as an ordinary person. Well, that's great. That's wonderful. I'm sure things are changing for the better, even in Catholicism. Combe also says, as McGeer said, enlightenment is nothing to do with male or female, so form, in my opinion, is more or less irrelevant to, though apparently men have greater capacity for enlightenment. I don't believe that. I believe it's quite the opposite. I believe what Padmasambhava said. Under the right circumstances, women have a far more better capacity for it than us. Under good circumstances. Combe says hello to Bone. And Combe says Ajahn Khan Thera refused to give full vow to women. Ajahn Brahm in Australia opened the door to full ordination, but caused a split with the main lineage. Well, yeah, and that was the point of my video, I guess, more than anything, is that this is going on in my lifetime, in my time as a Buddhist, really, the last 17 years, right? So I've watched this unfold, and of course it was something that interested me right from the beginning. I've always been into social justice and always been into the ideas of equality and stuff like that. So it was just natural for me to research that. One of the first things, I think I researched that during my hey, you know what? Padmasambhava ate mushrooms, guys. I'm going to say something really controversial. Let's really get the morning show going. Padmasambhava ate Amanita muscaria and gave it to his disciples. And this is one of the ultimate secret teachings of Buddhism, in my opinion. And I've read books about this. I've read lamas who back me up on this, and have wrote books about this. There's an ancient ritual, a yogic ritual, and it's called the Amrita ritual. And nowadays, when it's still conducted, even in modern times, and when it is conducted, it's conducted with colored water. Now I ask you, and the author of the book, the Lama I'm talking about, asks you as well, do you honestly believe that going back 1,000 years that was colored water? And the answer is of course not. Amrita, Amanita, come on, guys. It's so easy to put this stuff together, and what do you think all the dreadlocks and, I mean, I've hung out with hippies. I know how this works, right? And so I really do think that psychedelics played a far bigger role than certain lamas who are against them, which Colm and I both know. And we won't mention any names. Might begin with a C, though. And he's put out videos 100% against this idea, 110%. In all its forms and iterations, and I think that's just ridiculous. That's ridiculous to be close-minded about it. I think half the Mahayana scriptures were composed by people on mushrooms. I really do. Or ergot, LSD. So, yeah, that's one of my more controversial viewpoints that you'll probably only hear me spout on my morning show. So, trying to stir the pot a little bit. But welcome everybody, and for those who watch on the replay, make sure to hit the like and subscribe. There are donation links in the description. This show is 100% funded by the viewers. It's like public television, guys. Only it's public Buddhist talk radio. Okay? And so it'll only be as good as your donations, because I actually need a new computer, guys. I mean, I need a bunch of stuff to really keep this going and build it out. So if you're a person of means and you're out there listening, either live or on the replay, please hit a donation link. They are literally everywhere. Any donation link will do. You can Cash App me even. The Cash App is in the... that would be great, because then I can go right away and get supplies with it and stuff like that. And Cash App is in the description of the video. So, yeah. We'll build a morning crew, guys. We've got 2 regulars came today. Tomorrow we'll have 4. And it'll build like that. Slow but sure. It's like the turtle wins the race, right? Slow but sure wins the race. Isn't that the way it goes? And besides, it's not a race to the top. This is Dharma. This is Dharma content. It's a race to nirvana. If that makes any sense, which it totally does not, but you don't have to make sense this early in the morning. You just don't. That's what's fun. That's what's going to be so much fun about this show, is we don't need to make sense. We just need to hang with each other and commiserate that we had to wake up. I, for one, would stay asleep forever. I'm not a morning person, which is so funny that I'm doing a morning talk show now. Well, y'all, I guess I'm going to see what's on the internet here, like we did yesterday. Still no Dr. Rob. Nobody interesting live. News Nation. No live content. Somebody's flying internet spaceships. Maybe I'll do that later on today. I might have the electricity to do that. Maybe I'll do a gaming stream, guys, later. I'd love to try. If I get like the electricity, I'll do a gaming stream. Let's see what YouTube is suggesting for me this morning. See if we can find something interesting to look at together. I don't want to make Colm mad, so I won't do Dongzar Kensei Rinpoche's videos. Here we go. Let's do this. Let's go over here to this camera.
Actually, you see, practice of Dharma is like medicine. So medicine, whenever you get ill, then that is the right time to take medicine. So similarly, when we remain in our own house, you say no trouble, no problem, then it's a practice of Dharma. Okay, but something like without illness, the medicine not much what's the day? Not much use, yes. So in our real daily life, or where is some painful experience, some you say about to lose our anger, about to lose what's the day, jealousy, about to lose what's the day, too much, or about to sort of commit exploitation, or telling lie, or bully, or also you see about to act, pretension, and then these are the right time to think about spirituality. Oh, I should not lose my anger. I should not harm others. I should not tell a lie. I should be honest. I should be truthful. So that's the real practice. So I think the spirituality, spiritual life actually must go along with our daily life. Actually, you see,
that was pretty cool. Can I quote the Dalai Lama? Is that cool? Am I allowed to do that, Colm? What else we got? This guy.
I'm curious.
Oh yeah, we can do this.
One thing I'm curious about is which teachings of the Buddha you found to be most relevant and most transformative to the inmates who you're kind of working with.
I think really the fact that people can change, but also there is more to any of us than sometimes meets the eye, and certainly more to people who've ended up in prison than just being criminals or prisoners, and for that to be acknowledged and to be developed, that potential, the potential is there to do more and to do better, and even ultimately to be an enlightened being. And that's tremendously helpful, really. You know, otherwise it's so easy to just be condemned as such and such, when in fact there's a lot more.
And Longpo, which teachings?
That one was pretty cool. So he is in prison. He does prison ministry, Buddhist prison ministry. This young kid has been fascinating me. He's been all over the Buddhist news in the last few weeks. I can't really figure out because there's a language barrier, but he's a really, really young Tulku, Rinpoche, a reincarnate, and apparently very, very wise and like doing, showing great signs and wonders as a Tulku. So we'll see how that goes, of course, because he's just a little kid, as you'll see. Yeah, he's been making the news a lot. He's been a lot of press on him. A lot of pressure for, like, I don't know. He looks like he's 12, maybe 14. A lot of pressure. See, I'm not sure if that Tukul system is going to transplant to the West. I keep saying it, and I'm going to keep saying it until somebody convinces me otherwise. But I'm just not sure the Tukul system can transplant to the West. Although we did show a video yesterday morning that kind of contradicts that, but it was a Tibetan kid that was discovered. He was an American, but he was Tibetan, you know, in a Tibetan family and with that cultural background. So, we'll say good morning in the chat, guys. We're coming up on the 2-hour mark. No, this is a two-way street. It's talk radio, right? You're supposed to give me something to talk about. Maybe I should have Combe call in. You probably can't make international calls on Combe. Somebody want to call in? I'll give you a number. You can call in and say hi on the radio, on the show. You know, I did radio too for like endless years, guys. I was involved in radio back in the 80s, but you know what I mean? Free Radio Santa Cruz, the longest running pirate radio station on the West Coast. Of course, I worked for pirate radio, but you know what? It's the same equipment, guys. The same way you do pirate radio is the same way you do real radio. So I did a little bit of real radio, but not much. They tended to throw me out because I tended to say stuff. Back then, I was quite a different human being, and I tended to say things that got me regularly fired from radio positions. But I knew how to do it, and I always loved radio. I've always loved this format. But I think I need some call-ins. I think I'm gonna have to have people sign up to call in. Who wants to call in now? See, I have prizes to give away and everything if we just had a little bit of audience. So Aloka's going everywhere with Venerable Panakara. Apparently there's no retirement in his future. He's been over to East Asia. He's been to the UN just in the last few weeks. And he's been to the capital of Texas. They got donated some Buddha relics, and they took him to Texas to display the relics in Texas, in the capital. He was there. I mean, he was literally on like 3 or 4 different continents this month. Aloka was. So apparently, you know, I know Pandakara is very, very responsible dog, you know, lover. So I know that he wouldn't do it if Aloka wasn't up to it. So apparently Aloka's like pretty fully recovered from, you know, the accident and the injuries and the surgery and everything, and doing quite well. Another Bodhisattva dog. Another example of a dog that is definitely way more than a dog. There's something very special going on there. And I know the feeling, because we had our own Bodhisattva dog up here. And we still have his bones. Well, guys, I don't know. I wonder if I need to make a time shift or something. I mean, it is morning here, though. I mean, it's morning radio, and it's morning here, so... Let me put the tripod back up. I'm dropping a lot of frames on this camera. Yeah, it was that video that messed up the whole stream. You got it all choppy and laggy. I got to be more careful to get good video. Alright, let's put the show back on so I can see the chat. Yeah, it was that video that messed up the whole... Yeah, that's me. Alright, well, I don't know. I'm thinking I might call it at 2 hours for this morning show, for this morning. It's Tuesday. What you need to do now, guys, is everybody, especially those who watch on the replay, but even the couple people that are here live, we need to get more people. You need to recruit. You need to help me recruit. We need morning people who want to come hang out with us in the morning, Pacific time. So go. Everybody got to bring one friend tomorrow. All right? That's the Dharma Bum request. Everybody got to bring one friend, one new friend to the stream tomorrow and come check us out. Bring some things to talk about, and I'll bring some things to talk about. We got a great closing song, so don't just shut me off. But I do think we're going to wind it down and call it a morning. I really like this show, guys. I'm going to keep persevering. We'll get the audience. We'll bring people in. I'm not going to give up, so keep coming back. We'll be back tomorrow morning at same bat channel, same bat time, 8 a.m. Pacific time. So come and join us there. Give a like and subscribe. As always, please leave comments. All of this helps the algorithm, which clearly we need a lot of help. Although YouTube algorithm has been crap lately anyway, to be honest with you. YouTube is so flooded right now by AI slop that it's really skewed the algorithm. The average guy used to really be able to break through with a show like this, and you could, get viewers fairly quickly. But I think that YouTube has become broken basically by AI. It's being flooded by AI generated content. So we're going to give you the blessing, and then we're going to do the closing song. My boys are right here. They're laying around on the mountain, but they're awake. So everybody who's listening to this video live or on the replay, we give you the blessing of the Dharma Wheel Hermitage. May everything be auspicious for you today, and please come back tomorrow morning for another episode of Coffee with the Dharma Bum. And yeah, have a great day. Everybody have a great day out there.
see